Welcome to Bushcombe Lane, the scene for today's hill climb race, and possibly one of the steepest events on the racing calendar. Situated just outside the village of Bishop's Cleeve and at the foot of the highest point in the Cotswolds, this climb is renowned for its super steep, unforgiving gradients. Rampas inhumanas. Today we're going to race up it and see if we can come up on top.
Well, good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. It's the morning of Bushcombe Hill Climb. I hope you enjoyed that intro, by the way. A little bit of a weird day yesterday. We had a thunderstorm come in and we've had like a mini summer the last 3 days. And this thunderstorm rolled in and I was fully prepared to go for a ride. Me and my bike were ready, I had some kit here. And yeah, that put the kibosh on that plan. So instead I'm going to go out this morning and have a look at the climb properly. But hopefully it's going to be more atmospheric from people cheering today rather than from the weather, because this climb is hard enough without weather playing a part. I had a good night's sleep last night. My ultra-human ring said that I had 9.5 hours sleep and all of my recovery scores were in range. So there should be no excuse today. This is what I had for food last night. It's a chipotle sweet potato burrito bowl. It was a premium meal deal from Tesco and it was reduced to £1.92 from £4. There's hardly any random ingredients in it, to be fair, and the macros are pretty decent. 300 calories, 4 grams of fat, 52 grams of carbs, 14 grams of sugar, 8 grams of fibre, 8.5 grams of protein, and only 1 gram of salt. Not gonna lie, it was a fairly small portion. I didn't realise how small it was. I've got some homemade granola for breakfast as well. I'll have to share the recipe with you because it's really, really nice. The Bushcombe Lane might not be, 12 kilometers long like Alpe d'Huez or whatever, but what it lacks for distance, it makes up for in elevation gain in such a short space of time. All right, let me show you what we're working with here. I'm stood on the final steep section of the climb. Just around the corner there is the steepest section where lots of people stand, or at least I hope they'll be standing. And it probably reaches close to 30% up there, but that 30% comes right at the end of a sustained section of 20 to 25%. I don't know if you can make out the houses just down the bottom there, but that's kind of where we've come from. And there's no real give in it. It's just one solid gradient the whole way. And this last section through the trees gets horrendously steep. So let's go and see it. Imagine living here. So the last clip you saw is literally just around that corner, around those bollards down there. And you come around this bend and then it straightens up and the top is just beyond no vision, and then it drops to like a measly 6% and then pulls for probably the last couple hundred meters to the finish. But this section, like no word of a lie, like I barely just got up it now. And here comes the rain again. I had a couple of Instagram DMs last night after I shared some photos of what this looked like yesterday evening, and people were saying, you're not going to get up it. Like, people are not going to get up this climb if it's wet. And given this is the second time I've ridden this climb, I've only done it once in the dry, I've never done it in the wet. I have absolutely no idea what to expect. I'm going to be running like 20 psi in my back tyre. But also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out the saddle. And because I'm now running my hill climb gear in 44 tooth, my smallest gear is a 44/34, which is quite big. I mean, we won't know if it's too big until I get going.
Bit different this year with a wet surface.
I know. Fair play. The road surface there is shocking.
Three, two.
Okay then, let's get into this race debrief. But we only have 4 minutes to do it, so we better make it quick. Let's start off, first of all, with the fact that this is breaking news. That this is a new all-time best ever power for me, over 2 minutes and 40 seconds all the way up to 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So it just happens to coincide with the length of the steepest section of this climb before it starts to level off, and then we have the shallower section to the finish. And that's me collecting power data for the last 12, 13, 14 years, and yeah, it's just great to, and quite like relieving to see that training works, recovery works, and training methodologies work. So I'm happy that things are moving in the right direction. Now, I don't think I would have been capable of doing this today though, unless I threw a bit of caution to the wind and didn't really stick to a plan as such. Now, you know me as someone who generally likes to stay seated on a climb. I like to ride myself into the climb, and also I always talk about, you should produce your highest amount of power on the steepest sections. Now, I know this climb is steep virtually the whole way, but there is a significantly steep section, as you'll see in a second coming up. And I kind of thought to myself, do you know what? Today, because of like the road being wet and it's greasy and it's slow, I'm just going to produce like really strong effort at the bottom, and I'm just going to try and hang on to it at the top of the steepest section. Like hopefully the gradient, the people cheering us on, will all help me hold on to that power and hold on to a high average, so to speak. And actually that worked, and yes, it could have gone maybe a little bit faster if I'd evenly paced it, don't get me wrong. But in this case, I was like, let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And in this case, we came out of it with the power PB. So cannot complain one bit. And to be honest, my recent testing has led me to see my 2 minute power be in the range of 540, 535 watts. My best 1 minute power is in the 660 watt range. So to really push on from that to see my 3 minute power in about the 500 watt range, give or take, which is where we were today. But this last steep section was where I started to slow, and I started to really struggle with, the gear, and I'm just trying to stay on top of it, and also just trying to stay in a straight line. You can see I'm out the saddle here, and my bike's going all over the place, just trying to propel it forward as opposed to side to side. But lately I've been seeing, indications that there's improvement there, and I kind of felt that this performance was coming. I really paced it, I think, to empty myself, and this last section here where power really drops away. In fact, the last minute I'm averaging close to 390 watts for the last minute and 10 seconds. You compare that to the first 2 minutes where I'm averaging close to 515 watts. There's a big difference there. But I was really just trying to focus on that first 700 meters of the climb, the first, 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the climb, and getting everything out that I possibly could there. And I'm really excited by the prospect of what's going to come in the next couple of weeks, and I hope you are too. I hope this video series, which isn't just sort of building up to the National Hill Climb Championships, but it's also pursuing a little bit of a, low-hanging fruit, shall we say, and really seeing, if I can keep setting personal bests, over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, it won't come in every ride. We'll have good days and bad days, but hopefully it's documenting and bringing you some motivation and also some inspiration in the form of pushing and achieving a new level. So it was great to see the final riders come up as well. Really enjoyed supporting, and it was great support all round, and was really chuffed to pull off the win.
Good out, that's brilliant. Push, push, push.
Oh my word, that's so satisfying. Took a win, and all-time best power numbers. Totally went out with the right strategy, I think, to go off hard and not really hold much back. But I didn't expect, on these short ones, I never really expect to perform as well as I do on the longer climbs. I need to have a bit more confidence in myself, because the confidence will also help my performance. So that will help today. Things are going in the right direction, I hope, and I need to build on this. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. Here's to another hill climb in the books. I will see you next time.